All right, what's up, everybody? Hey, it's been a second since we've done a Browns video. It's time to do a Browns video. Hey, here's the deal. Browns fans, you understand this. You know there hasn't been a lot going on this offseason. You're in salary cap purgatory to an extent, and it doesn't mean you don't have a ton of talent. There's a ton of talent on this roster. We know that there is. And one of the people that they were trying to lock up that was seemingly unhappy with the deal that he had was Amari Cooper. And news came out that Amari Cooper did not get an extension that he was expecting, but he did, in fact, come to an agreement on a new contract that was a resolution for both sides. And I'm going to make the argument that the Cleveland Browns absolutely won this deal in getting this done. All right, they won this deal in getting this done. So here you see on Dogs by Napier, Browns and Amari Cooper agreed a new contract with some interesting details. All right, as the Browns had their vets report to training camp, the state of wide receiver Amari Cooper, guess where it was? It was up in the air, and he sought to get paid with a new contract as he was skipping the mandatory minicamp. There was a rumor this weekend that the Browns star receiver was willing to hold out at the start of training camp, but he doesn't need to do that anymore. Why? Because Ian Rappaport reported that the Browns and wide receiver Amari Cooper have agreed on a restructured contract to guarantee his $20 million salary this year and give him a raise. He's in the building. He has reported to camp. All right. So you have a 30-year-old wide receiver. We know that he has a ton of time on or miles on his legs. So while he wants to get paid, while he wants to get that big contract, like the one they just gave to another 30-year-old wide receiver, Mike Evans, the Browns aren't super quick to want to give him a long-term deal because he's a guy that while he has been pretty durable, he's always dinged up, including last year that had him not at 100% even into the playoffs. All right, so adding to the above information, look at this. Cooper didn't get all of his contract guaranteed. Not that it matters, barring injury. And it didn't get a direct raise. Instead, Cleveland's top receiver must earn his additional $5 million through incentives. The new contract doesn't extend Cooper's time with the Browns, but it does give him a chance for a nice bump in pay. So he's getting $20 million. What I believe to be fully guaranteed, all right, and $5 million in incentives for a wide receiver of his caliber. When you look at the stats from last year, all right, it's not going to show them to you. Sorry, it's my computer's doing a weird thing. Sometimes it does that. All right, it was from a previous thing. All right, Amari Cooper had 1,250 yards last year. That is directly in between Keenan Allen and Mike Evans. Directly in between Keenan Allen and Mike Evans. All right, those guys are getting paid. Mike Evans is getting $20 million. Keenan Allen is getting $20 million this year. So they're making almost the exact same that he's making. Other players that that he had more receiving yards than Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Michael Pittman, Devontae Adams, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith. All these guys are getting very, 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 very large paydays. All right? They're getting very large paydays. All right? So when you look at this Cooper deal, all of a sudden it just flat out makes sense. It makes sense. All right. So I look at this and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's see what we're doing with this. All right. Before this, he had this year, it's here. Let's take a look. Like 23 million was the cap number. Now it's down to that 20. It's fully guaranteed. Everything's good. All right. And they don't have to worry about what goes on beyond it. It doesn't keep him here any longer, but at least it makes him happy and you get him here this year. The whole idea right now is that this team is trying to compete right now. Right now. That's why you brought in Jerry Jeudy. That's why you've brought in different players. That's why you kept the defense together. That's why you brought in Deshaun Watson at the very beginning, because you wanted this to be a team that could compete right now. Every move you made this offseason was to compete now. So you need Amari Cooper here this year, because if you don't have him, it completely ruins your chances. I'm going to make the argument to be a team that can compete not only for the playoffs, but a Super Bowl. You're in an extremely, extremely difficult division. You are going to have hard battles every week this year. You're coming off a year in which you made the playoffs, so you will have a playoff schedule, even though it's based on where you finish in the conference, and I think they were second. I want to say second, maybe third. Anyways, all of these types of things, you need to have a team that's designed to win right now. So you needed to bring him back. It doesn't matter if it's for a year. It doesn't matter if it's for 2, 3, 4 years. You need him right now. And if this team doesn't do anything this year, if they're not the team that everybody's hoping them to be, which is get even further than last year, all right, get even further than making it to the playoffs and getting smoked by the Texans, unfortunately, all right, and we understand there was a lot going on leading up to that. If you can't do that this year, then it's time to start reevaluating the roster in general. Like, what do we got to do? What does it look like to get out of Deshaun Watson's contract? What does it look like? It's not good. It doesn't look good. All right, but all of these different things, and the team has to consider where they're going. So 1 year is good, and then worry about the rest tomorrow. Like, worry about what that looks like in the future, Because this team, it's not like they're sitting here with a ton of cap space. All right? It's just not a ton. All right? The Cleveland Browns right now are sitting with cap space of $14 million. Next year, already, they are sitting here with $45 million in the hole. $45 million in the hole. So they have a roster that they have built to win now, and it's not going to continue to get better. We all know the cap isn't real. Tell the New Orleans Saints that. All right, tell them that when that number gets big enough, you can't restructure your way out of it anymore. You have to start cutting people. Tell the Broncos that the cap isn't real as they pay Russell Wilson $50 million not to play each of the next 2 years. It's real. All right, and they have to deal with that, but they don't have to deal with it this year because they got him restructured. That's why it's a win, and it's not long-term for an aging wide receiver. You get another year to see what you have in him. If he has a great year, great, you got to pay him. But if he starts slowing down, maybe you get him at a price that's less than if you had to pay him for 2 or 3 years right now. All right, thanks for watching. Good to do a Browns video again. See you on the next one.